So overall, I'll say this to you about how he's drafting so far his offseason. Spectacular.
Yep.
And I'm hearing Honey Badger will probably be a member of the Philadelphia Eagles maybe by next week. So
Really? All right, we're going to go from the East Coast all the way up now to the left coast and bring in a guy who is one of my favorites, man. I mean, he's always raring to go. I don't know if this man ever sleeps, to be honest with you.
Never.
But you know him as Big Sills. He is Dan Sileo of the National Football Show, which is a significant part of the JAKIB Media YouTube channel family. And Big Sills, how's life on the West Coast, brother?
Well, you know, once I get out of Commie, California, after my daughter ends up leaving the University of Grand Canyon University, I will be back on the East Coast. I promise you this. The one thing I've learned, D-Gun, is this. I could talk to the people in Philly, and my wife says this to me all the time. Who would have ever thought Philadelphia would have been the city that you would have parachuted in, where everyone looks at you and goes, Sileo, are you from South Philly? I'm like, why do you have that rear end attitude like you're from South Philly? I'm like, she goes, you fit in so well. And really, man, it's really been a lot of fun. Really, really been a lot of fun so far.
Now, you said you're going to relocate to the East Coast. Are you coming to Philadelphia or are you going somewhere else?
Florida.
Are you going back to Florida?
I'm saving my money, D-Gun, as we get older. Nobody moves north, D-Gun. They move south.
No, man. Hey, you know, I used to live in San Diego, and that's my number one favorite city in all beautiful. Of America. Unfortunately, I told my wife, who's from Southern California, hon, I hate to break your heart, but we cannot afford to move back to California anymore. I couldn't afford an Adobe hut in Southern California right now.
A tree hut goes for around $175,000. Yeah. And I told my wife this too. I'm like, sweetheart, it's the best place on the planet, but even the bums are at $100,000 level, and that's not good enough to live out. Even the people that live on the street make $100,000. They all got cell phones. They're all going like this. Hey, put that E-Trade in.
Exactly.
Not for me. I got to save my money.
How much is my Bitcoin worth today?
Well, you know they're handing those out like they're handing out food stamps out here in California.
Oh, jeez. All right, man. Let's talk a little football. I want to hone in on the Philadelphia Eagles because that's what we do here. And you have been critical of Howie Roseman and his drafts in recent years. So initially off the top, I need your thoughts on how you felt the Eagles did this year in terms of drafting and addressing both sides of the football, even though they gave up a lot of draft capital to get a few players, but looks like marquee players, man.
Quantity too. You know, It's the quality and the quantity of what they did in this draft here. And I was talking about this other day, Derek, and that was the sequence of needs on this football team. You know, you got to add A.J. Brown into the evaluation of this draft because he gave up draft capital to get him.
That's right.
So they needed a veteran wide receiver in the room. They got it. And not only just a veteran wide receiver, but a veteran wide receiver that fits the system. They're a run-dominant team. He comes from a run-dominant team. That's the Tennessee Titans. It's not, to me, a guy like Tyreek Hill coming to Philadelphia. Okay, we still got to figure whether or not Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. We're trying to figure that out now. Well, getting two burners on each side doesn't really fit the makeup of what they're going to do and how they go about moving the chains. They're a 38 carry team. They want to cut that down, D-Gun, to at least 25 carries and have more where they're 25 carries at 4.5 yards a carry creates more, again, on play action pass for Jalen, which means the tight end will become more effective in this offense. You're going to have now a playmaking Michael Irvin type player and A.J. Brown. That's how I look at him. I look at him as a Michael Irvin, third down wide receiver that's going to catch footballs to move the sticks. Then you got on your other side, you've got Devontae Smith. He's going to have more open lanes, in my opinion, because of the addition of A.J. Brown. And I'll say this to you too, D-Gun, one thing is for sure.
Yeah.
I did not believe they were going to give Jalen Hurts the opportunity to succeed. Howie Roseman now is doing what they're doing with Chris Greer down in Miami and with Tua Tagovailoa. You have the chance to succeed now.
Right.
We've got you the commodities. Go out and show us if you're the guy, whether or not you can go out and move the sticks. So getting AJ was enormous. And to me, that's the crowning achievement in this draft. I said on the Jordan Davis deal on Friday, prior to going into your guys' great broadcast covering the draft on Friday, or excuse me, Thursday night, I said if Jordan is between 11 and 14, it's cool to trade up. Go get him, couple picks. There were only 14 true first-rounders in this draft. There weren't 32 first-rounders. I think, Derek, by the time you got to 15,
right,
15 to 60, to me, I think these guys were all the same.
Okay.
I don't really think that there was that much, maybe an inch here, maybe an inch over here, maybe a 40-yard dash. And Davis was one of the 14. So to me, what you do is you're now getting the heir apparent. You've now increased your defensive front seven, so you look like the 2017 group where you have a good-looking front seven. Let's just do this, Derek. Let's pretend his floor is Vince Wilfork.
Okay.
Say he's not a 7-sack guy, but I say his floor is Vince Wilfork, and his height could be a Fletcher Cox because Fletcher was a better pass rusher than what Vince was. If you have the best run-stopping defense in the NFL and you have the best run offense in the NFL, you're giving yourself a chance every single year to go out and win an NFC East.
Yeah.
Number one rush defense, number one rushing offense. You're going to be in every football game. Now it's all about moving the chains. And this comes back to Jalen. This draft was a lot about Jalen and improving that defensive side of the ball. By the way, with the addition of Jordan Davis, now the Hassan Reddick deal looks 10 times better because you addressed a rush end. Now you got in the middle of your defense. Then you got maybe the steal of the draft in Nakobe Dean. I'm going to make a comparison to you, Derek. I think Nakobe Dean, he reminds me a lot of Denzel Perryman. And where I go with Denzel Perryman is Denzel Perryman, by the way, made the Pro Bowl this past season with the Raiders.
That's
He's a 5'10" guy, not the big – and he's a Hurricane. Derek, when I saw him at Chargers camp, I was like this, holy crap, this guy is small. He'll never make it. He's been to multiple Pro Bowls. He's had 130 tackles, and I think Dean's better. I think Dean is more versatile. I think, Dean, when you play in a system like you do in Georgia, where you're going sideline to sideline, in my opinion, as long as his health, and I think sometimes the issues with his health and his shoulders are because of his size. But when you've got horses, and I don't know about you, maybe the Albert Haynesworth defensive tandem that they had up in Tennessee back in the day, I can't think of a better defense or bigger defensive tackles in NFL history than what the Eagles are going to have. So I really loved what they did. The Cam Jurgens deal, you know, they probably looked at the center position for next year and said, is there a kid coming out? And they probably went like this. No. Derek, you know this as well as I do. If you don't have a great left tackle and a great center, you have no chance of winning an NFL championship.
That's right.
You have to have – because just so everyone knows, it's not so much the quarterback when he comes to the line of scrimmage, when he's setting the blocking schemes. The center does odd even. He'll go odd even, shade, slip, scoop. He'll be talking to the guys while the quarterback is setting the formation. You'll hear the center talking. The center and the quarterback are working because they got to work on pass protection.
Right.
If you don't have a very smart center in that process, you're going to be in massive trouble. And from what I'm hearing, I heard Jason Kelsey help the scouting department in identifying this kid from Nebraska, and he had input and said, this kid reminds me of myself. He's going to pick everything up. And to me, listening to players, plus your coaches, plus the personnel department, I get where people go, center, you have to have a great transition at left tackle and at center position. And when you do, it solidifies your old line. So overall, I'll say this to you about how he's drafting so far his offseason. Spectacular.
Yep.
And I'm hearing Honey Badger will probably be a member of the Philadelphia Eagles maybe by next week. So
Really?
if you get all this signed, sealed, and delivered, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC East.
Wow. Wow. You heard it right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel and Draft Takes. I appreciate it. Hey, now let's go back to Nakobe Dean for a moment. I don't know how much of the Draft Takes show that you got a chance to see with us on Thursday night. Seth Joyner, Mike Quick, myself, Rob Ellis. And Seth and I were arguing back and forth about linebacking play and who we wanted to take. He wanted a bigger linebacker. I said, don't judge Nakobe Dean by his size. I said, if there was a linebacker that I would take in the first round, he is the only linebacker I wanted in the first round. I compared him to the smallest linebackers like the Devin Bush, Devin White, Michael Kendricks, all small guys who have excelled at the highest level in this game. When I look at Nakobe Dean, I'm looking at a heat-seeking missile. Sideline to sideline, he can track anybody down. He can run with most running backs in the probably in National Football League. He can cover the tight end as well. And he is a blitz monster. He will find the open gaps with those big guys up front, chewing up space and commanding double coverage at any given moment. You got three behemoths now, or four behemoths now up front. Can Nakobe Dean come in there and have an immediate impact when you already have Kazir White, Hassan Reddick, who can put his hand down in the dirt or stand up? You know, we made fun of the Eagles linebacking position for years. Now it could be the strength of this team.
Here's and when you talk Bush, you got to remember Vita and Dominic Sue were in front of him.
Right.
Which gave him the ability. And to me, look at how he's looking at this. He's got two behemoths playing defensive tackle to protect Nakobe Dean the same way he was protected when he was at Georgia, so he can run the scrape line and go sideline to sideline.
Yes.
All due respect to Seth. That's a different NFL back then when you had to beat and you had to beat Levon Kirkland.
Yes.
You had to beat guys like that were 256 pounds inside linebackers. Now you've got to be more of the Derek Brookses, Derek. You've got to be a cover two guy because what are you being asked to do? And I've said this before about the Steelers. When they lost Ryan Shazier, in my opinion, of all the people that the Steelers have lost over the years,
right.
Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, whomever you could just throw out there, to me, the loss when he got paralyzed was that he was the Gronk killer because he could play the run, he could cover the linebacker, he could cover the seam, and he could cover the slot. You almost have to be like a Tampa 2-style defensive linebacker today, and those are usually around 215 to 218. It's a different league today. That's why guys like Denzel Perriman and Bush down in Tampa succeed. As long as you have horses in front of these guys. Here, Derek, here, always been the problem when you have smaller linebackers. Well, if don't have very good defensive tackles, unfortunately, this is the position I played. When you have defensive tackles in front of you that are getting blown off the ball or are unsure of what they're doing, okay, so now you move the scrape lane back. The linebacker has to move back. You're talking about 3 yards, 4 yards, just the guy falling forward.
Yep.
When you've got engaged defensive tackles, your linebacker goes up and down the line of scrimmage, and you're a formidable run defensive football team. That's the kind of player he is. You know, the problem you may see with him a little bit is because he plays with a reckless abandon, which I love.
Yep.
And that's also one of the reasons why he possibly gets injured in the shoulders because of the way that he plays. If he can stay healthy and get through a 17-game season, in my opinion, this could be, again, a guy that should have been taken around 21. You ended up getting in the third round. Fantastic move. I think it's really an absolutely fantastic play for them and what they've done.
The one thing that is so confusing about him is all of a sudden the day of the draft, the rumor comes out that he has this pec injury. Okay. And we know yes, we know teams play games.
Agents do this. Agents do this too.
Yeah.
So that they can get their guy drafted, or again, other teams They go, this is why we passed on him. This is why they passed on him. You have so many.
That's
Dan
dirty.
Marino,
it's dirty, man. Dirty.
It's a dirty business. Dan Marino. Yeah. I mean, look what happened to the kid Tunsil, Derek.
Yes.
On the draft night,
yes.
Somebody from his family posted a marijuana bong hit, and the kid was supposed to be the 3rd pick in the draft. He went down in the 20s.
Yes.
Cost them millions of dollars. It's a dirty business. And from what I heard from Dean saying, hey, I have no medical issues. I'm going to be there for mini camps. I mean, I'm going to take the kid's word for it. And I'm going to also talk to 2 coaches. I'm going to talk to Nick Saban, and I'm going to talk to Kirby Smart. By the way, I heard you say something. I want to address something you said.
Yeah.
About Howie going into the SEC.
Yes.
Not only are they the best talented kids, Derek, but they're the best coached.
Most pro-ready.
They're the reason why you're seeing less bust come out of those programs.
Yeah.
You're paying the offensive and defensive coordinators just at Alabama alone $2.5 million.
Absolutely.
You're making head coaching money at Alabama as a coordinator and a position coach. Florida, Texas A&M, Tennessee, all of these places have the best coaches in the country. That's why when you go into the Southeastern Conference, you're not just getting the best talented kids because they go for exposure.
Right.
They go for the coaching. That's where it all is today. Pac-12, okay, not really. Big 12, I have problems with guys on defense in that conference. Offense, maybe I'm pretty cool with it, but they don't play a lick of defense. Why would I draft a ton of guys in premium picks out of the Big 12 when the majority of those players get killed on Saturdays? You think they're going to improve their game on Sundays?
Yeah.
Not me. So I loved what you said because the best coaching comes out of the Southeastern Conference.
Hey, before I let you go, Big Sills, in a general sense, who do you think had a great draft this year?
I tell you what, there's no question the Jets.
Boom. There you go.
The Jets, Joe Douglas. And I know if Howie Roseman is looking at his boys and looking at Andrew Barry in the offseason he's had in Cleveland, he's got to be looking up the pike there at the Jets. The Jets they pretty much drafted the best player almost in every single round this year, and they're going to get better. But the other team, there's one other team. And Derek, how many years do we say this? Jesus, criminy, those damn Ravens. I mean it,
every
man.
year with this team.
They never miss.
They don't miss.
They don't miss. They get guys like a Jabo. You're going like this. How do these people fall to them like that? Ozzie Newsome did such a great job at pouring the cement for that organization, and it's resonating to today.
He should still be on the pay staff for what he's done for that organization.
He's got to be a consultant in that conversation, man, because that organization, I'm just telling you, dude, okay? I'm just telling you, man, it is one of the absolutely best drafting rooms I've ever seen.
Hey, Big Sills, right now, we have over 600 people watching us live right now. I want everybody out there to pound that like button. Thanks for tuning in. Keep tuning in. We love it. Big Sills, I can't thank you enough, man, for taking the time to talk to me. I love talking football with you.
Hey, I got to tell you something, Derek. It's an honor for me, and I don't say that much.
Thank you, brother.
To people, because I tell you what, your reputation is awesome, and you've accepted me, and thank you so much. And it's truly an honor to be a friend of yours.
Thank you, brother. We're going to get you on our Sports Take show one day soon with me.
By the way, it's kicking ass.
Yes, it is. We have, thumbs up, brother. Keep telling all your friends on the West Coast about the show, and of course, we tell them about your show each and every day. And that cross promotion.
I know they do,
us, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, man. I'm with you. I'm one of your boys now, Derek.
Yes, brother. All right, man. You take care of yourself. Go outside and enjoy some of that sunshine. Go down to Mission Beach. Sit in the sand, or go to the Lamp District. Have yourself a nice Mexican meal.
Coronas
Center, baby.
That's Joe Kraus. Coronas in the Dan Cave.
Man. All right, brother. Enjoy your day, man. All right, what a day we've had here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel on this edition of Draft Takes. I'm going to thank all my guests who have been a part of this. had Ray Dittinger on, Seth Joyner, Barrett Brooks, Dave Zangaro, Les Bowen, and, of course, Big Sales himself, Dan Sileo. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, and keep punching that like button, because that's what we like to see. And we know that you are enjoying a lot of the information that we're passing out to you as well. Of course, this year's edition of Draft Takes is brought to you by IBEW Local 98. Mark Lynch is your manager. Hey, don't forget, Monday through Fridays from noon to 3 p.m., it's Sports Take right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel with Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, and myself. We're going to have a lot of guests coming up this week. I'm not going to tell you who, but just stay tuned on social media platforms to find out who we're going to have coming up on the show in the upcoming week to talk some football, talk some NBA playoffs, talk some baseball as well. Hey, also, don't forget, for those of you who can, start making your summer plans right now at Ocean Casino Resort, the exclusive provider of all JAKIB Media content. Go for the beach. Go for the win. This has been Draft Takes presented by IBEW Local 98. Mark Lynch, your business manager. I'm Derek Gunn. For all of us here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, thanks for tuning in from Thursday through today, watching all of our draft coverage. The numbers have been through the roof. And also, if you want to find me elsewhere, you can also find me on my Gun on One podcast. My latest podcast has just come out. Barrett Brooks, former NFL player, joined me on the podcast to talk some Eagles and football in general. So until next time, so long, everybody.